Game of the Year 2.5 edition, because I like to throw a wrench into things. There's some very good suggestions in here. That Pac-Man BR game came out that I played a lot of this year, and I really enjoyed it. Pac-Man 99. A little game called Guilty Gear Strive came out and reintroduced Guilty Gear to a whole new audience and actually had good online. And there was also Aliens Fireteam, which was arguably one of the best Aliens games there is, and just made the process of shooting aliens actually a hell of a lot of fun. Believe it or not, that had never been done before. Funny enough, just that action had never been done before. None of those games are going to get my honorary Game of the Year 2.5 edition. I'm just gonna stick this in here. My 2.5 Game of the Year goes to a little game called Super Metroid. How in the world could a 20+ year Super Nintendo game make your Game of the Year? And the reason is I actually played it. I played through it for the first time on stream, engaged with the game, was presented its mechanics and characters and lore and environment and story and everything like that, right? How could it possibly be Game of the Year 2021? Well, that's because this is my list and not a general bullshit list from some other bullshit. Yes, Metroid, Super Metroid. I think I have to throw into my Game of the Year list. This happened a few years back with like Mega Man X4. I was like, God damn, Mega Man X4 is so good. I love it. But Super Metroid, unlike that game, I had never played through the entirety of this game. I'd only played it in like very tiny bits and pieces and only essentially played only anything close to the first like 1/10 of the game, maybe. So my last experience with it was just trying it among a myriad of other Super Nintendo games one evening back in like 2014. That was it. So a lot of the mystery and surprises and puzzles and combat that come as a result of Super Metroid was alien to me, pun intended. I had no idea what was around the next corner, how I was going to approach it, how the boss fights were going to work. And I specifically wanted that to be my experience, to go in completely blind and just see what the hell Super Metroid plays like in a 2021 setting. And I did that because Metroid Dread was right around the corner. And it seemed like a good idea because I had not like actually gone through a Metroid game before. Anyway, long story short, I loved it. I really enjoyed this game. Did I think it was absolutely perfect? Is the entire experience like a bar none, absolute, timeless video game triumph? No, like I think there is a couple of spots in here that definitely show a little bit of their age. And with somebody that has no, let's say nostalgia, I have no nostalgia for like Super Metroid specifically. There is a couple of parts of this game, especially the under the ground sand pit shit. Some of the grapple beam parts. Yeah, Meridia. Oh my God. I would almost reconsider not playing this game again if I had to play Meridia. That place sucked, man. I can't even tell you how much I enjoyed leaving that area. I was like, oh, thank God. If it's their intentional game design to make everybody hate the shit out of this place, then they succeeded. By all means, you did it, man. This place sucks and I can't wait to leave. Anyway, outside of that, I loved it. That's like obviously only one portion of the game. It's like 1/6 of the game. I thought the rest of it was great. And it really is nuts to show that a game of this design, right? Like, because this game is essentially copied for this point forward, like the Metroidvania, the Super Metroid gameplay design elements were just put into so many other things throughout the years that it's like an amalgamation hybrid game. And to play the game that spawned it all, to realize that, damn, this was the level design that these guys were coming up with in like what, like 1993, 1994 is truly crazy to me, because a lot of the way the player progresses through this environment and goes about discovering things is really goddamn cool. And it kind of upsets me that, because so much about it I love, right? So much about it is absolutely heavily inspired from Alien and Aliens. There's a huge amount of influence from Alien and Aliens all over the place in this game, and I kind of love that about it. But at the same time, it does come across as something genuinely unique, because the way you engage with Super Metroid, the way you engage with its character and environments and its storytelling is through gameplay. And I love that shit. It's almost like the less the developers have access to in most creative situations, the more creative they have to get to explain these things, to introduce these concepts and stuff like that. Having to figure all of that out and approach these bosses in ways that somebody's like, hey, you could actually go fight this boss and electrocute the shit out of them if you do this over here. And I'm just like, yo, what? Like, what? And then I watch a video on it and I'm like, holy crap, you can actually do that? This is ridiculous. Wait, when did this game come out? Like, it's nuts. Super Metroid's an insanely special game. This is news to literally nobody. This is news to absolutely nobody that is watching this right now. But to me, as somebody that was a true-ass Metroid virginite in 2021 and being able to experience it for the first time, being able to experience the ending and everything that this game sets up, and the discovering of new abilities and upgrades and going back and unlocking a thing, and the constant, like, getting lost. Like, I played Super Metroid in 2021 and there were several points of this game where I was actively lost and I just had no idea where to go. Being lost in a game like this is great. It feels so damn good to eventually come across, like, wait a minute, I can do this to here and unlock that. Whoa, like, what? Yeah, not lost as in like a bad thing, lost intentionally, where you just got to start taking the things that you had and go back and figure out where to use them. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. It's kind of opened my eyes because this is a genre of game that I have very little experience with. I obviously played like Strider back in 2013, 2014. And that's like a Metroidvania-esque kind of game. It makes me want to revisit some of the other Metroids at some point, right? Because so many people have some great things to say about the remake of Metroid 2. So many people have great things to say about the Metroid Fusion, the GBA game. And I would like to go through those at some point, but I would like to be hyped about Metroid, like super amped about it. And hopefully there's another Metroid title somewhere in the near future that'll give us a good opportunity to do that. So we'll sort of like ride the Metroid hype of the next game coming out, and we could for sure play through some more Metroid games. So there is a future where I'm going to play some of that shit. There is definitely a future. I've not played through the entirety of Symphony of the Night. I have not. I've seen it played in front of me, but I've never actually played it myself. And Jessica is actually recommending this to me, this is most likely going to become a game that I should also play at some point in my existence on this platform and in video form in some way, and it's Hollow Knight. Everybody says you need to play Hollow Knight in some way. If you like this, you should play Hollow Knight type of stuff. So I know, don't worry. I'm definitely seeing all of those suggestions, and I just have to be it's got to be at the right time of year and the right mindset. I have to be open for that experience. That's not a kind of game where I would just want to like shove it in between this release and that release. No. That's the kind of game where I would need a bit of time and dedication to go in and get that stuff done. In the same way that I would want to revisit other Metroid games around the excitement that's building in myself and everybody else around a new Metroid game. So don't worry, I'm definitely paying attention. Is there an eventuality where I might actually try Hollow Knight? I think so. Because even my wife wants me to really play that game too. So we'll see.